January 12, 2026. Santa Fe Province, Argentina. 3:47 a.m. Juan Carlos can't sleep. He's 54 years old. He's been a farmer his whole life. He knows the sounds of his land, the wind through the eucalyptus trees, the distant bark of a neighbor's dog, the soft lowing of his cattle. But tonight, something is wrong. The cattle are silent. Not sleeping silent, gone silent. Juan gets up. He puts on his boots. He takes his flashlight. His wife Elena asks "Che pasa?" What's wrong? He doesn't answer. He just walks out. The flashlight beam cuts through the darkness. He walks toward the pasture. The grass is wet with dew. His boots make soft sounds, but that's all he hears. No cattle, no birds, no insects, nothing. Then he sees them. His cows, 12 of them, lying in the field. At first, he thinks they're sleeping, but they're not in the right positions. They're too still, too flat. He moves closer. The flashlight beam hits the first body, and Juan stops breathing. There's a wound, clean, precise, surgical, and around it, no blood, not a single drop. He moves to the next cow. Same wound, same precision, same absence of blood, all 12. He runs back to the house. He calls the police. He calls the vet. He calls his neighbor. By sunrise, his farm will be surrounded by officials, journalists, and questions no one can answer. My name is Silas. This is Mystery Doom, and today, we're going to Santa Fe. When the authorities arrived, they expected a typical case. Predator attack, disease, poisoning. What they found was anything but typical. Let me describe what they documented. 12 cows, all adult females, all in good health before that night. Each one had a wound in the same area, the lower abdomen or neck region. The cuts were clean, precise, as if made by a surgical instrument. But here's the part that made even experienced veterinarians pause. There was no blood. Not around the wounds, not on the ground, not anywhere. When an animal dies naturally, blood pools in the lowest part of the body. When an animal is killed by a predator, there's blood everywhere. But these carcasses, completely drained, as if someone or something had removed every drop. Then there was the decomposition. Normally, within hours of death, insects arrive, flies, beetles, then scavengers, foxes, vultures, wild dogs. But these carcasses, nothing. For days, they just lay there. No insects, no scavengers. As if the land itself was avoiding them. Local veterinarians were confused. They sent samples to Buenos Aires. They called in experts from the National Agricultural Institute. Months later, they still don't have answers. I've thought a lot about Juan Carlos. I never met him. I never spoke to him. But I've read his interviews. I've seen the photos of his farm, and I can't stop thinking about what that morning must have felt like. Juan Carlos has been farming for 35 years. His father farmed before him, his grandfather too. The land has been in his family for over a century. He has a wife, Elena. She's 52. She makes cheese from their cow's milk. She sells it at the local market. He has a son, Mateo. He's 19. He's supposed to take over the farm someday. On January 11th, 2026, everything was normal. They had dinner together. They watched TV. They went to sleep. On January 12th, their life changed forever. When Juan called the police that morning, he didn't yet know what he was dealing with. He thought maybe a wild dog had gotten in. Maybe some teenagers playing a cruel prank. But when the officials arrived, when they told him to stay away from the carcasses, that's when the fear really set in. Elena told the reporter and me. Esposo no ha dormido since esa noche. My husband hasn't slept since that night. He goes out every night now. Same time, 3 a.m. He walks to the pasture. He stands there. He listens. He's waiting for something. He doesn't know what. When I read that, it stayed with me. This man, 54 years old, who spent his whole life understanding his land. Now, he doesn't understand anything. and every night, he goes back to the place where it happened. Because what else can he do? Let me explain what makes these wounds so strange. I'll try to keep it simple, because honestly, the science here is fascinating. When an animal is attacked by a predator, say, a puma or a wild dog, the wounds are messy, jagged, tearing, because teeth aren't scalpels. When an animal dies of disease, there are no external wounds at all, but these wounds, they're clean, straight lines, precise angles, the kind of cuts you'd expect from a surgeon in an operating room. Local veterinarians who examined the carcasses noted something else. The cuts appeared to be made with knowledge of anatomy. They followed natural tissue planes. They avoided major blood vessels. Whoever, or whatever, made these cuts knew exactly where to cut. Then there's the blood removal. To drain an animal completely, you need to either open major blood vessels or use some kind of suction. But there were no large pools of blood. One veterinarian told a local paper, "Es como si alguien hubiera extraído la sangre quirúrgicamente." It's as if someone surgically extracted the blood and the scavengers. Normally, death attracts life. Insects arrive within minutes, scavengers within hours. It's nature's cleanup crew. But these carcasses remained untouched for days. In a rural area with plenty of scavengers nearby, something kept them away. Something the animals could sense that we couldn't. When I read that part, I got chills. Because animals know things we don't. If they were avoiding those bodies, they were avoiding something real. Now let's talk about theories. There are many. I'll go through the main ones and tell you what I think. This is the most popular theory online, and I get it. Surgical cuts, no blood, scavengers avoiding the area. It fits the alien autopsy narrative. But here's my problem with this theory. If aliens are visiting Earth, why are they cutting open cows in Argentina? Why not somewhere more strategic? And why leave no other evidence? No footprints, no radiation, no spacecraft sightings. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm saying the evidence doesn't specifically point to aliens. It points to something unexplained. This one, I'll be honest, makes more sense to me. Argentina has a history of military governments and secret programs. Could this be some kind of biological or chemical weapons testing? The precision of the cuts suggests advanced technology. The blood removal could be for sampling. The scavenger avoidance could be because of chemical residues. But here's the problem. Why test on a farmer's cattle? Why risk exposure? And if it was the military, why hasn't anyone come forward? Why no leaks? Still, of all the theories, this one feels the most plausible. Not proven, just plausible. Some scientists suggest this could be a rare but natural phenomenon. Perhaps a new disease that causes rapid decomposition and repels scavengers. Perhaps some kind of predator we haven't identified yet. But this theory falls apart when you look at the wounds. Nature doesn't create surgical precision, not without tools. Could this be some kind of ritual? A cult performing animal sacrifices? Possible. But cults usually leave evidence, symbols, remains, and they usually don't drain blood with surgical precision. There are rumors of black market organ trade involving animal parts, but cattle, and why leave the bodies behind? I told you I'd be honest with you, so here it is. I don't know what happened in Santa Fe, and anyone who tells you they do is lying. But if I had to guess, I'd say this points toward something man-made. Some kind of testing, some kind of experiment. Because the precision, the silence, the government's lack of response, it all feels coordinated. But that's just my feeling. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Here's something that bothers me. After the news broke, there was a brief flurry of attention. Local journalists went to Santa Fe. A few national outlets picked up the story. Social media had its usual mix of fear and jokes. Then nothing. No official investigation update. No scientific report. No government statement. It's like the story just stopped. I reached out to the Agricultural Institute in Buenos Aires. No response. I reached out to local police. They said the case was ongoing, and they couldn't comment. I reached out to journalists who covered it initially. One told me, they told us to drop it. Who's they? He wouldn't say. When information disappears like this, it usually means one of two things. Either there's nothing to find, or someone doesn't want us to find it. I don't know which one is true, but the silence itself is suspicious. I keep coming back to Juan Carlos. While we sit here discussing theories and evidence, Juan is still there, on his farm, with his memories of that night. Alina says he doesn't talk about it anymore. He just works, from sunrise to sunset. Then he sits on the porch and stares at the pasture. Mateo told a friend, "My father is still looking for them, looking for the cows that died, or looking for whatever killed them." I think about that a lot. A man who spent his life caring for animals, now haunted by their deaths. A man who knew every sound of his land, now listening for something he can't identify. This isn't just a mystery, this is a tragedy. For Juan, for Alina, for Mateo, for everyone in that small community who now looks at the night sky a little differently. So here's the question I've been thinking about since I started researching this case. What would it take for you to be afraid of your own land? Juan Carlos isn't afraid of predators. He's dealt with them his whole life. He isn't afraid of disease. He's vaccinated his cattle for decades. He's afraid of something he can't name. Something that came in the night, did its work with impossible precision, and left without a trace. Something that made the very land feel foreign to him. I don't know what happened in Santa Fe. I don't know if it was aliens, or military experiments, or something we haven't even considered. But I know this. Juan Carlos still wakes up at 3 a.m. every night, and walks to that pasture. He's waiting. The question is, for what? If this story stayed with you, if you find yourself thinking about Juan and his family, then you understand why I do this. Subscribe to Mystery Doom. We investigate the stories no one else will touch. And in the comments, tell me, what do you think happened in Santa Fe? Aliens? Military experiments? Something else? I read every comment, and honestly, I want to know what you think. Because maybe, just maybe, someone out there knows something. This is Mystery Doom, because the truth is always hidden beneath the surface. See you in the next video.